This the life, this the stream. Come on, niggas, come on, people, come with me, yo. Let's vibe along. You know how I do. I pull my things, so I pull it on. With all these niggas down the street. Y'all lost me, Tony, it's a rainbow. I'm not afraid to take a stage. Everybody can take my hands. We love to get up to the store. We waiting to say the truth. Everybody, we was together to the stores. What the? Everybody, rise up in me, change my hand. We'll, right? Take my hand. We keep in the rhythm. Everybody, take my hand. We to stop. We do some under.
I've been waiting every day up at the Jason. That's my time.
Back to the future. Yeah. Back to the future. Yeah. Back to the future. Back to the future. Yeah. Back to the future. Back to the future. Yeah.
Stephen, an experienced truck driver from New Zealand, was working on his truck. He was positioned between the truck's bumper and the trailer when something crazy happened. He slipped and fell, but something fell off. He didn't feel just regular pain. He felt his body inflating like a balloon, nearly doubling in size. His colleagues and his son rushed to help him, quickly realizing what had actually happened. Stephen had fallen onto the brass valve that supplies compressed air to the truck's brakes. The valve punctured his bum, forcing pressurized air into his body. They immediately shut off the air supply, laid him on the ground, and called an ambulance. Unfortunately, both emergency vehicles in the area were occupied, forcing him to wait in that state for an entire hour. When he finally arrived at the hospital, doctors understood the severity of his condition. The air had separated fat tissue from muscle, filling his abdomen, chest, and even the spaces around his lungs, heart, and behind his eyelids. To help him breathe, doctors inserted a tube through his ribs and into his lungs. As for the trapped air, it had to be expelled naturally through farts, a process that took 3 days. Stephen made a full recovery, and doctors later determined that if the valve had punctured another part of his body, it could have damaged the blood vessel, and he would have died. Joan Murray. Joan Murray was an experienced skydiver, having already completed 35 jumps. It was supposed to be just another routine dive, and as she plummeted at 120 miles per hour, she attempted to deploy her parachute. I say attempted, because it didn't open. After multiple tries, she reached for her reserve parachute, which, to her relief, deployed successfully. However, another problem quickly arose. She began spinning uncontrollably, causing the parachute's cords to tangle into a knot, rendering it useless. She crashed into the ground at 80 miles per hour, and upon impact, she heard a loud crack before losing consciousness. Joan fell into a coma and was rushed to the hospital, where doctors performed multiple complex reconstructive surgeries and blood transfusions. The entire right side of her body was crushed, yet incredibly, 2 weeks later, she woke up from the coma and made a full recovery. The reason she survived was just crazy. By pure chance, she landed directly on a fire ant nest, disturbing the venomous ants. In response, they came out of their nests and swarmed her body, stinging and biting her 200 times. Fire ant venom, known as solanopsin, stimulates the nervous system. The overwhelming amount of it that was injected into her body kept her heart beating until paramedics arrived, saving her life. Margaret Dwyer. Margaret was a young Canadian woman who had just married her husband, Herbert, in 19 celebrating a scientific trip to our destination. Herbert immediately escorted his wife Margaret to a lifeboat where she was joined by 3 other women and a baby. However, as she looked up, she saw the ship's massive smokestacks above them, and she feared they might collapse onto the lifeboat. In a moment of panic, she climbed back up the stairs to the deck, while Herbert, believing she was safe, boarded another lifeboat with other passengers. Tania rapidly sank. Margaret tried to swim away from the wreckage, but her efforts were in vain. A whirlpool formed as the ship submerged, pulling her into the smokestacks. Miraculously, a sudden explosion from below blasted her back to the surface, where she was spotted and rescued by a nearby lifeboat. As she looked around, she saw Herbert in another lifeboat, crying, believing she had died. Julie McSorley. Julie McSorley is this hospital recovered kayaking in San Luis Obispo, California, drawn by a spectacular event, humpback whales feeding on fish in the bay. There were lots of tourists on their boats and kayaks watching the whole thing. And even though whale watching is a...
If 1,000 ants had to fight a...
Stephen McCormack. Stephen, an experienced truck driver from New Zealand. Perspective. However, despite their enormous mouths, humpback whales have relatively small throats, only about the size of a human fist, and capable of stretching to just 15 inches in diameter. They also lack teeth, meaning the two women weren't crushed. Luckily, a whale's natural instinct is to spit out anything that isn't fish, and that's exactly what happened. Moments later, Julie and Liz were spat out from the whale's mouth and surfaced unharmed. Matthew Lowe. Matthew was heading to his factory for a routine shift, just like any other day. Upon arriving, he immediately got to work. As he walked past an automated conveyor belt, he suddenly felt his overalls snag on something. Unfortunately, it was the conveyor itself. Before he could react, he was pulled onto the belt and dragged toward a 5-inch opening. Within seconds, his entire body was forced through the narrow tunnel. He could hear the cracks of his bones as the machine spat him out on the other side. Miraculously, he remained conscious. Matthew's agonizing screams alerted his co-workers, who rushed to the scene. What they saw was horrifying. His back was broken in 2 places, his pelvis, ribs, and hips were nearly completely crushed, and his abdomen was severely torn. He was rushed to the hospital, but doctors had little hope for his survival. They even advised his partner to prepare for the worst. However, against all odds, Matthew survived. After 6 surgeries and a month in the hospital, he slowly began to recover. 18 months later, he made a full recovery and even returned to work. Taiba, a young Indian girl, went out for a walk when she came across a construction site. Intrigued, she decided to explore the area. The site was filled with debris and half-finished structures, making it extremely risky to navigate, especially without proper equipment or experience. As she walked through the site, she tripped and fell neck-first onto a long metal rod protruding from a brick. Bystanders witnessed the horrifying scene and immediately called...
Light bill done. Airtime done. Credit card self-cleared. Nothing to naira. This settle all my bills now.
John Allen Chow. In November 2018, John Allen Chow, an American Christian missionary, illegally traveled to North Sentinel Island to contact and live among the Sentinelese, an isolated indigenous group, so he could convert them to Christianity. On the 15th of November, Chow paid local fishermen to take him to a point between 1,600 and 2,300 feet from the island's shore, so he could continue to the island by kayak. As he approached, he attempted to communicate with the islanders and offer...
On April 21st, 2023, around 8:36 a.m., officers responded to a 911 call reporting a man, later identified as 38-year-old Lauren Gordon, acting suspiciously with a pair of scissors. After locating him nearby, officers ordered Gordon to drop the weapon. Instead, he threw a backpack at Officer Elias El Penadias and charged with the scissors. Penadias fired 3 shots in response. The incident is under investigation by the NYPD's Force Investigation Division. No officers or bystanders were injured.
I got him. Town fair. Going behind town fair.
West Hartford, Connecticut. On August 8th, 2023, around 5 p.m., police attempted to stop a stolen Hyundai Elantra traveling on New Britain Avenue. The vehicle crashed into 2 others at South Street and became disabled. Lyle Salisbury and Mike Alexander Garcia fled the car. Salisbury was arrested immediately, while Alexander Garcia ran eastbound. As he fled, Alexander Garcia tried and failed to carjack 2 vehicles before entering a Toyota RAV4 at a nearby tire shop. K-9 officer Andrew Teeter and his police dog followed. During a violent struggle inside the RAV4, Alexander Garcia managed to back out of the garage, striking 2 vehicles, including the K9 unit's vehicle. Still struggling with the suspect, Officer Teeter fired multiple rounds, striking Alexander Garcia in the torso. The suspect crashed into a utility pole and was later pronounced dead at Hartford Hospital. Officer Teeter sustained a broken rib and head injuries, while the K9 was unharmed. On February 3rd, 2024, at 2:14 p.m., LAPD officers responded to a call about an assault with a deadly weapon near the 600 block of Town Avenue. The suspect was reportedly under the influence and armed with a stick, threatening employees inside a business on the 4th floor. Force failed, and during a struggle over a beanbag shotgun, an officer-involved shooting occurred. He was fatally shot at the scene. No one else in the vehicle was injured or charged. The shooting is under review by the 18th Judicial District Attorney's Office to determine whether the use of force was justified. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On August 14th, 2023, Officer Mark Dial and his partner followed 27-year-old Eddie Irizarry, who was driving erratically and turned the wrong way onto East Willard Street.
I'll fucking shoot you!
Irizarry parked, and as the officers approached with guns drawn, body cam footage shows him seated inside, holding a small folding knife near his thigh. Without warning, Officer Dial fired 6 shots through the driver's side window, striking Irizarry multiple times.
I'll fucking shoot you! 413 shots fired, 100 West Village.
Irizarry was pulled from the vehicle and rushed to Temple Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The medical examiner ruled his death a homicide caused by multiple gunshot wounds. On September 8th, Dial was arrested and charged with murder, manslaughter, and several related offenses. Pikesville, Maryland. On January 9th, 2024, around 11:25 a.m., Baltimore County Police responded to a 911 call reporting a domestic disturbance involving an armed suspect in the 400 block of Reisterstown Road. The suspect, 29-year-old Shaquem Akil Webley of Windsor Mill, had already left the scene on foot when officers arrived. Officers canvassed the area and found Webley inside a gas station store in the 5.
Mealtime is game on.
Meet my Sure Bet Game Changer, made from natural ingredients to deliver game-changing chicken aroma and taste for my whole team. Upgrade your chicken game.
Military. I'm suing the army to court. I will sue army to the International Criminal Court. I will sue President Buhari to International Criminal Court. I'm making this official because I'm going to do it paperly. But if I do it paperly without doing official first, something may happen. They may try to silence me because why? They don't want me to come out with the truth. This country has suffered too much that you don't just have to keep quiet and watch it.
House knows that on the 2nd of June, Lance Corporal Martins Idakpeyin from the 8th Division Sokoto of Nigeria Army made an online video wherein he condemned the lackadaisical attitude of the security chiefs towards the incident attacks and killings of innocent Nigerians by Boko Haram and other armed groups in the northern part of Nigeria.
So this guy who was in the Nigerian army decided to make a video about what was going on, and the Nigerian army did not like it. So they arrested him for more than 3 years alongside his beautiful wife. Today he's here on the Lucky-O Experience to share his story to the world. This is his story.
I was among the soldiers that were supposed to go after the first batch. The first batch that went, all of them died. No one come back alive. The captain requested for adequate weapon and it was ignored. Some of them were left to rot in the air. You will see dog feeding on their flesh. If you see dog in Maiduguri, you will see how far, how well they are very more bloody.